Well, it's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon, Minnesota, my hometown, out there on the edge of the prairie. It's been cold, what can you say? Pastor and Mrs. Inkfist came back yesterday from their Florida vacation. They were down there for 2 weeks and had a fabulous, fabulous time. 2 weeks in Florida in January. It's like dying and going to heaven. I've been looking forward to it for months, and back during Advent, when they talked about anticipation, it wasn't just the birth of the Christ child they were anticipating. I thought, what do people from Florida do? People in Florida have no Florida. They're there. They're at the end of the road. What if you're in Florida and you feel down? What do you do? Where do you go? They had a great, great time. Though, of course, when you come back and people say, boy, 2 weeks in Florida, boy, that's quite the deal. Wish I could do that sometime. Boy, that must have cost an arm and a leg. Boy, that must have been something, lying down there under the palm trees by the pool, huh? Drinking those Mai Tais or whatever they call them. The pastor is more or less required to say, yes, it was a very interesting time. We had a good time. There's a great deal of homelessness there in Florida, and it was very interesting to see how different agencies handle these problems and fulfill people's just basic needs for housing and food, these problems which are transient in that type of climate. Spoken like a true Lutheran, a serious people, even on vacation. Other people can go down there and tie one on and drink themselves silly and lie out there in the sun and dance and whoop it up. And Lutherans do their best to relax, but don't feel quite right about it. You're in your motel room and a maid comes in to clean it, and you feel uneasy. And although you've made your bed, and you've folded your towels, and you've made everything as neat as you could, the maid starts in to clean the bathroom mirror. And you look at her and you think, I should be doing that myself. You get that Cleopatra on her barge feeling, and this is an uneasy feeling for a Lutheran. Judy's sister Janice was staying with the Ingqvist boys while the parents were down in Florida. Janice, in her 40s, one of the boys' favorite aunts, because she's newly divorced and she's dating again, and she lives in Minneapolis, and she's got a lot of stories to tell, and she doesn't mind telling them. Even if you're 17 and 15 years old, she'll tell you everything about her life. She'll tell you things that you'd never hear from your parents about the beauties of dumping somebody. Freedom and independence, and what beautiful single women in their 40s do in Minneapolis on weekends, which would astonish you. Parents left on the 30th of December, and on the 31st, New Year's Eve, one of the boys was pulled over by the town constables, Gary and Leroy. He was driving his car that he bought last summer that his dad told him not to. $200 for a car? That doesn't make sense, kid. Spend $200 for a car, you're going to wind up pushing that car. You're just wasting your money. Car's been running very well ever since. Running well enough on New Year's Eve that he ran into the police car. And then when they pulled him out, he threw up on them. Kind of an awkward situation when you're the minister's kid. Be brought home at 2 a.m. with a raging hangover. But thank goodness your parents are in Florida. And your aunt is there from Minneapolis. She understands. She's done this many times herself. This is their older boy. This is the popular boy. This is the party boy. This is the good dancer. This is not the quiet, serious, younger boy. quiet, serious younger boy is the one who Pastor Inkfist worries about the most, not the popular boy who has all the friends and who goes out drinking and gets a little bit drunk. That's not the problem. It's this younger boy, very quiet, watches everything, listens. He's the writer in the family. The things that he writes are a little bit strange. But you know, to be a writer in Lake Wobegon is not a distinction in itself. To set out to be the class intellectual in Lake Wobegon High School is sort of like being the school Hindu. There's not a lot of competition. You wouldn't need to be a really good Hindu. You could just wear a scarf and kind of have a Hindu attitude. Whereas to be the most popular boy, you have to know how to read people and see what amuses them and see when they've had about enough of you and it's time to move on. You could become smarter being popular than you could being the class intellectual, if you know what I mean. They worry about the quiet boy. The one who gets into trouble, that's not a problem. He's been through this big practical joke phase, and there were some bad smells in the Ingqvist kitchen this last fall and had the family casting accusing glances at each other, and they found out that he'd put some kipper snacks there in the heating vent. And that was interesting. That was about the same time that he went to the pet store in St. Cloud and he bought 500 crickets and he set them loose in his parents' bedroom. The first 450 were not that hard to catch. Even the next 35 were rounded up in time. It was those last 12, the apostles. Those were the hard ones. And the last one, Judas, that was the tough one. Oh, he's put them through a great deal. He had a great taste for practical jokes. He came by it honestly. His father did when he was young, though of course we don't talk about that. They went away for vacation last summer and he tossed some alfalfa seed in that shag carpeting in the basement and watered it a little bit. And it's amazing what that stuff will do in 2 weeks. They came back to find a meadow down there. Had to pull the whole thing up and replace it. He put Kool-Aid powder in their bed once. And that kind of made for some interesting discolorations in the morning. And that combined with the cheese on the bed springs kind of made them think maybe they had leprosy for a while. They went in to take a shower and the soap wouldn't lather up because he'd painted it with a clear nail polish. Then, of course, he'd put some more powder in the towels when they went to dry themselves off. And there was baby powder in the hairdryer. That was interesting. What more can one kid do, Judy thought. Well, she was about to find out. She flushed the toilet and he'd filled the tank with a kind of industrial strength detergent. So the bubbles just kept coming. They just kept coming. It filled the whole bathroom with bubbles. Well, you don't punish a practical joke. You just have them clean up. That's usually enough. After you've cleaned a whole bathroom full of suds that had baby powder all over the walls and in the light fixture, it casts a whole new light on humor, as his father discovered when his father was a boy. And he led a Holstein cow up to the second floor bedroom of his uncle's house out on the farm. That was pretty funny for about half a minute. When they discovered it, it was pretty good. Then they said, well, you get it down. You got it up, you get it down. Not that hard to figure out who played the joke, is it? They always stick around because they enjoy it when the balloon goes up. And then he had to get that cow down from the second floor and discovered that it's much harder to get him to go down than to get him to go up. Mischief is not a problem. You can always deal with mischief. The older boy, they know how to deal with him. It's that younger boy, that quiet, dry, ironical boy, the cool child. You just want to tell him, don't bother, kid. Coolness, it's not worth it. Don't be hip. It's not our business to be hip. It's not worth your time. You don't learn anything being cool. You learn things by going out and making mistakes and speaking your mind and being put down by people who know more than you do, but even though they put you down and you know it, nonetheless you hold on to what you believe in and you persevere. You learn by all sorts of things, but not by being cool and being an observer and being a satirist. That's not the way to get smart, because your job is the same as anybody else's job. It's to believe in what you believe and be good to people who don't believe as you do. Just as a minister, there to proclaim the gospel and to love the sinner, to proclaim the truth and to love the unbeliever, to be practical and to love what's foolish, to be serious and to love humor, to lead a contradictory life. You want to tell this kid all of these things, but he's just going to have to learn it all on his own. Oh, kid, don't look for that bridge abutment. Oh, Lord, be careful. Lake Wobegon, where all the women are strong and all the men are good looking and all the children are above average.